Kombat AllStar Show.
Kombat AllStar Show.
Brought to you by Quantum VFX, making the impossible possible. I am Kombat AllStar.
And I am the one and only Random Girl.
And today we're going to talk about the awesome couple of weeks that have happened since last show. Extreme Rules happened. Age of Ultron happened. We're going to be talking about all of that stuff. So sit back, relax, and not strap on your seatbelt because this ain't a Dr. Dre song, but hang out with us.
We're going to have some fun.
Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Let's talk comic books. So in comic books today, we usually talk about all the greatness last week. Actually, not last week, but last show I talked about Flash and my favorite comic book. This week, I wanted to kind of bring to you a different perspective and talk about Random Girl's, one of Random Girl's favorite comics that she's reading. It's called Complex. Random Girl, tell us about Complex just a little bit. Give them a smidgy.
Alright, so Complex happens to be, it's a story, it's like a sci-fi conspiracy type story. And it involves like a group of people, and they're in this like they're in a weird type of neighborhood. They set up, all these guys have powers. They set up husband with the wives. They're not really, it's not a real marriage, but they set it up. It's like really weird explaining it, but they set it up as to, they're like running this project because they're running out of electricity or something. And so they have to they set up this weird town so that, I don't know, humanity can survive.
Gotcha.
And so all the people in this town called, what is it called? I can't remember. But everyone in this town, they all have a unique ability. Like some guy, he can run electricity through his body. One guy can, he has the power of water, so he can like gather like just a bunch of water and drown you if he wanted to. Like they all have powers, and they're all supposed to just help the world. So I don't know. I don't know if I explained it the right way, but it's a comic book called Complex. It's really, really good. Like I'm into like the sci-fi thriller mystery types, and yeah, Complex is really good. And then also another comic book that I really like. It's more of they're more independent writers. It's called Killer. And it's about this guy. He's a professional hitman, and he always gets the jobs done. He asks no questions. You know, he's very professional. But this one time, he's in this apartment building, and he finds himself waiting on this old guy that he's supposed to kill. And he finds himself going crazy and questioning his morals. Is he supposed to be doing this? Is he supposed to not? And so I don't know. That's also really a good comic. So yeah, check it out. Killer and Complex.
And who publishes those, by the way?
I can't remember, man.
It could be. Sounds like maybe like DC, maybe like Vertigo or Image.
They're really small. Like I happened to just find them while I was on Comicology. I was like looking through all the different types. I was like, yeah, this looks interesting. Why not give this a shot? I wind up actually really liking it. I read all of their books, so they're really small. Like they're not a huge company. They're just like independent writers. So you know.
Well, I mean, what I do, I'll put it on the TV.
Yeah.
But you guys are looking at the images and everything here.
I hope I explained that right, guys. I suck at describing stuff, so I hope you guys got it. What I was talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it went well. You know, I completely get it, and I'm sure that these guys will get it. And like I said, all the stuff over here on the TV, they'll be able to see the pictures and everything, and you know, check them out. I mean, Random Girl has really good taste in comics, just like
yes,
I do. So go check it out, Complex and Killer.
Yes. We'll have the title for you. We'll have the writers for you. So if you're interested, you can go and check it out. It's really, really good.
We'll leave the description, the link below to Comicology, so you can go check them out. And if you've read them, tell me what you think. Let's talk wrestling. In wrestling, like I told you in the intro, we got Extreme Rules happening. And to talk about Extreme Rules, we got KP over there on the ones and twos. KP, welcome to the show. Welcome, my friend.
All right. Well, Combat, thank you for having me back. KP here once again talking about the best wrestling there is out there. I'm sorry it's WWE because there is no other wrestling really. I know it's Lucha Underground and TNA, who cares?
Boo!
Boo! Boo! You don't know what you're talking about. Boo! Boo!
Let's talk about Extreme Rules, man, okay? The pay-per-view that should actually just be named Payback or Backlash after WrestleMania, because that makes sense. Extreme Rules after Mania, I don't know what's going on. Pay-per-view starts with really good promo videos. They've got some really nice hyped angles that get you into where these characters are mentally going into their matches, which is a really nice touch. Unfortunately, it was backed up by Fall Out Boy. Nobody wants that. I loved Ambrose's match. Was not a loss, but it wasn't a win at first because they like left the arena. that man hasn't won a pay-per-view match since last year. It's almost been in a year exactly. So when he came back and pinned Luke Harper, it was like, yes, finally, he's not buried. He's doing good. He's doing good. The Sheamus Ziggler match was pretty okay. I mean, this pay-per-view started off pretty good. The bit at kissing his ass at the end was fantastic. That couldn't have gone any better. I did not expect Sheamus to lose. I totally thought he was going to pull it out since he just came back. But him losing just made that moment that we knew was going to be really corny and just go one way just actually interesting for a little bit, even though he punched him in the dick afterwards. Tag team match was actually really cool. I really enjoyed it. Normally, I don't know what happened. I don't watch Raw, SmackDown religiously, but somehow the roles have flipped. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro were the faces. They were put on the side of the ring where we have to look at them the entire match. And New Day are the weird heels, and their backs are to us, and they're on the heel side of the ring, so they're the bad guys. And it's really weird because they're acting like, we're the good guys, where's everyone booing us? And it's like, this is the most interesting thing ever. Cesaro's, the best move of that match was Cesaro's like second rope suplex, T-bone suplex on, who was it? I can't remember, but he nailed him. And it was that move, he leaned all the way over, pulled the guy up from the apron and suplexed him. And I was like, that's incredible. Chain match, boring. Sorry. I thought John Cena was going to pick up the mid card, and the first pay-per-view he does it with the title defense. That was just the Texas bull rope matches or Russian chain, whatever, where you touch four corners of the ring. That's so anticlimactic. There's no way you can make that interesting, even with those two guys. So that was a snooze fest for me. I fell asleep at that point in the pay-per-view, and I was glad. Then we had the Divas match, which I was hoping would be better, but I don't know if who's heel, who's face. Same thing here. Are the Divas face now? Or the Bellas? I have no idea, but Naomi's heel, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, boring Divas match. So, then we come to Show and Roman Reigns. And this match was really good. I was really impressed with both, especially Show. He's been wrestling for like 20 years, and he can still pull out all the stops. I mean, they had some awkward stuff setting up tables, but all the spots at the end of using all of them was really awesome. And Roman looked really good. Big Show looked really good. So that was really cool. Unfortunately, it looks like Roman's going to be put back into the title picture again against Rollins, which is going to shorten Rollins' capabilities, I should say. Speaking of the World Heavyweight title match in that cage, that was like the slowest start. The first half of that match was the slowest, most boring thing ever. These guys just tore it up at WrestleMania a month ago, and here they are in a cage, main eventing, and it's just, come on, really? You're taking that long to climb out of the cage? Please. But then, the match starts to pick up, you know. Orton delivers the best pedigree I have ever seen. That place, Chicago Arena, went nuts when he did that. It was the coolest thing ever. And Kane's bit to get involved in the match and just chokeslamming everybody. He was like, oh, I fucking hate you, I fucking hate you. And Rollins, you're down. I'm going to help you try and cover Orton, even though it didn't pan out like that, but it just kept going. And Seth, RKO, and Randy, that was pretty sweet. That was a really good ending to the match. That match could have been stagnant the entire time, but those dudes knocked it out. So hopefully we'll see what happens on pay-per-view next.
Well, thank you, KP, for your insight and being on the show once again. Always appreciate your point of view when it comes to WWE. We personally like Lucha Underground better, but we'll save that argument for another show.
Lucha Underground is better. It's gonna always be better.
Having me on your show, I do want to leave you with this thought. If you want to think about what champions are being protected fictionally on the show on a creative level, you have to look at how Rollins is being treated now as WWE World Heavyweight Champion coming out of Mania, and how Daniel Bryan was treated last year coming out of WrestleMania as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Daniel Bryan got to face Kane, a guy who he had okay matches with when their tag team Team Hell No broke up. Rollins gets Randy Orton. Come on, think about that. I mean, Orton's going to make Roman look like $1 million, and then he's going to get fed to Roman eventually, which is unfortunate. Speaking of which, Daniel Bryan, what happened? Why do you win a belt in Mania and get injured twice in a row? That's ridiculous. All right, but I got to go. Thanks for having me, Combat. KP out.
Let's talk video games. In video games, I want to talk about an oldie but a goodie, Gears of War. Now, Microsoft announced that they're going to be remastering Gears of War. They didn't say anything about the second and third Gears of War, but definitely the first Gears of War game for Xbox One. And I have a kind of a mixed feeling about remastering video games. I feel like it's kind of cheating. But then sometimes if it's a classic, you want to be able to carry it on to the new console. So, I mean,
especially if it's good.
Well, I mean, like, that's the thing. It's like, I'm all about digital distribution, as you guys know, so I would rather, buy a game digitally that I want to collect. But when you go over to, like, the next platform, you end up losing it. So, like, if I bought Gears of War, all three of them on the Xbox 360, and then now I want to play them on the Xbox One, I have to rebuy them all over again. It'd be nice to have a digital type of distribution thing where once you buy the game, you have it, and then when it comes over to the next console, you still have it. It's interesting because everyone I know loves Gears of War, especially the first three. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that this is a good idea to re-release Gears of War? For I don't know if they're like just nickel and diamond people here, or they're actually doing a fan service. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I hadn't heard that. Okay, so you said they're making hard copies, not digital. Well, it's going to be for Xbox One.
Well, they're making both digital and hard copies, but they're re-releasing an old game.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if they make a good game and what am I trying to say? Okay, so if you make a good game and you're a fan of it, and you happen to buy a new console, then why not remake it? Like, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, but then again, it's like I said before, every it's supposed to be 10 years, but the last generation lasted like 7 or 8 cycles, depending on if you were Xbox or PlayStation 4 person. But it's just, I feel like I shouldn't have to buy those games again because I already bought those games. If I'm collecting those games, I mean, I understand what people are saying. Like, if you're a fan, you'll keep the console, you'll play the games on that console. But you want something a little clearer. You want something that looks a little better, and that's your favorite game. So it's hard for me to. I kind of a love-hate relationship with the whole idea of remastering things. They did that with Tomb Raider when that came out. That was awesome, and then they re-released it, in a definitive edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. They reskinned the same exact game for Injustice and sold it again for PS4. So it's kind of like, it's on one hand I feel cheated, but on the other hand it's like cool, I get to play the game that I love on my new console. So I don't know, mixed feelings about it. What do you guys think? Are you really looking forward to playing the new, the old Gears of War on your new Xbox One, or?
Yeah, for me, I think it's an amazing idea. I'm a huge fan of Gears of War. I play all of them with the hubby. Yeah. Can I say that? Okay, so yeah, I really like them, and it just so happens that I don't have the Xbox 360 anymore. We have the Xbox One. So yeah, I mean, I think it's great that they have it for the Xbox One for the people who don't have the older consoles anymore. And then not only that, but what if you do have the game for the Xbox 360? It's also going to be good to see the graphics even more better because, the graphics change each and every year. They get better each and every time and clear. So, when was the first one that came out?
It was years ago.
Can you imagine how it looked? Yeah. So to see it again, it's gonna be like, yeah, man, it's gonna look even better. So.
But even with that, I mean, Halo, they had that button. You hit the black button where you can, or the menu button or whatever now on Halo, when you can switch back and forth between how it used to look and how it looks now. So you don't necessarily need to keep the old game if you know that in the future they're going to re-release it again on the new consoles. I guess it's just a point. Yeah, it's just a point of view and perspective, I guess. Random Girl thinks it's a cool idea. I don't think it's such a cool idea. I kind of have mixed feelings about it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's not? Like, what are you thinking? What do you think?
Comment. Let us know.
Let's talk visual effects.
Now it's time for the grand finale. I know you all been waiting for it. Visual effects section, most exciting section of the Kombat AllStar show. And this week, we are going to be talking about the newly released Avengers, Age of Ultron. And it's interesting because the movie came out, there was a lot of hype. Me and Random Girl went to go see it. It was a really, really good movie. Like, so I'm a DC guy, or, that's we all know that. I'm a little biased when it comes to DC, but I really enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I feel like this movie fell short. I don't think it lived up to the hype. I do think it was a good movie, but I don't think it was a great movie. I don't think it's deserving the praise that it's been getting online. So, I mean, just me, I just felt like, I don't know. Like, it's a totally spoiler. So if you
don't spoil them.
I want to spoil it. If you're watching the Kombat AllStar show, Turn it off right now. Okay? So basically, you know what? I'm not going to spoil it too much.
Yeah,
I won't spoil it too much. So basically, in the movie, they're fighting Ultron. We all know that. That's why the movie's called Age of Ultron. Ultron's this big threat. He's, uploading himself online. He's able to, make a bunch of replicas of himself, right? But the thing is, I don't understand why he's such a threat. And that's one of the things I had to overcome in the film. If you guys have been following the Marvel Universe, you see how powerful each of these guys are in the Avengers. And let's take somebody like Thor. Thor went through, in the first movie, he destroyed like half the population of the Frost Giants. He obliterated half a planet. You mean to tell me he couldn't take on 600 or 700 Ultron dudes who are metal, less powerful? I don't get that. I mean,
I was actually trying to understand that too while I was watching it. I was like, so what makes this guy so powerful and scary?
I understand he's a threat, but he is nowhere on the level of Thanos and Thanos' army in the first Avenger movie that Loki was borrowing to try to destroy the world. He's nowhere on the level of the Frost Giants that Thor had to battle in the first movie. And I'm just keeping this strictly to the cinematic universe. I'm not trying to go into the comic book because that's a whole nother ball game. But just trying to keep consistency within the Marvel film universe. It doesn't make sense why Thor couldn't destroy all of the Ultron bots by himself. Like, I don't get that. I mean, granted, they had the Infinity Stone, right? But they had the Infinity Stone in the first Avengers movie, and they were actually using it, and it powered everything. So, and especially in the hands of Loki, there was no way that one person could stop him. There's no way that Thor by himself could stop him because the emotional attachment to Loki. You know what I mean? So he's not going to go, even though he destroyed all the Frost Giants and everything in the first Thor movie, he's not going to go in there and obliterate the army and his brother because he still believes in his brother. I mean, he had a little talk with his brother in the beginning, wanted him to come back home, and even when they fought him at the end of the movie, when they were on Stark's ugly tower, and they had that dialogue going on, Thor still wanted his brother home. So I get why that was a challenge for him and why they needed the whole team, because obviously, as powerful as Thor is, he's not going to want to wipe the floor with his brother. It's still his brother. He still loves him. I get it. But for this movie, these were inanimate objects, and Thor can easily destroy them. So I didn't like, for me watching the movie, there was no sense of urgency. I feel like they could have took down this guy anytime they wanted to. I mean, it's not like the first movie where there was conflict within the Avengers and then all of the emotional attachments with different characters. It was a totally different ballgame in this movie. And for me, it just didn't get it. I walked out of that theater. About a minute after I walked out of the theater, I was thinking about how awesome it's going to be to see Batman versus Superman, because that trailer played right before the movie started. And that's not good. I mean, that's good for DC, but it's not good for Marvel. So I feel like the movie fell short. It's going to make a gang of money just because it's the Avengers. But I don't know. I didn't really like it that much. I mean, visual effects, amazing. This is the visual effects section. We usually talk visual effects here. And they were amazing. But as far as the writing part of the movie, I feel like it really fell short. What do you think about that, girl?
I actually really like the movie. It's the best movie I've seen out of all like the superhero movies. Not all. I'll say all. Well, yeah. But for me, it's like the best superhero movie. So, but like what Kombat AllStar said, it's like I didn't really get why the guy Ultron was so powerful. I kept I was like waiting in anticipation. I was like, okay, he's really gonna show up this time, and I never seen anything. Like, he just didn't seem so powerful. So, yeah, that's the only thing.
And I mean, the visual effects was bar none. I mean, I'm not sure who did the visual effects for this film. It could have been ILM because Disney owns them. Disney owns Marvel, so it makes sense. Didn't really have a chance to look into it. Visual effects is bar none. This is the best Hulk I've ever seen. It doesn't look plasticky or rubbery like he usually does in the other movies. The Hulk.
Oh.
He looked good. He looked really good. He looked like a big person that was green. He didn't look rubbery. He didn't look, kind of fake. Like even in the first Avengers movie. Ultron, totally believable as far as, how they animated him. The visual effects for this movie was it was awesome. I loved Quicksilver. What they did with Scarlet Witch, again, story is another issue. But as far as the visual effects goes, this movie was top notch. Everything you would expect out of a Marvel movie, everything you would expect out of an Avengers movie. This movie had it going as far as visual effects. I can't wait to see the other movies that are going to come out that's going to have heavy visual effects, to see how they stack up. like Terminator, like Batman vs. Superman, like Star Wars. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see what they do as far as visual effects goes. And I'm going to be watching as a fan, just like I was watching as a fan for the Avengers. And I'm going to try some of that stuff to see if I can do some of that stuff. But it was epic. Visual effects were epic. Thank you all out there for watching the Kombat AllStar show. We are at its conclusion.
Yes, sir. I think it's about that time.
Yes, it is. Wanted to say, give a very special thank you to all the fans out there, all the people on Twitter, everybody who's been watching the show and supporting. In the very beginning, I said I was going to get to 20 episodes of the Kombat AllStar show and end it. This is the 20th episode, so it means a lot to me. You know what I mean? Holds a very special place in my heart. Just want to let you know I'm going to continue the show. Because I enjoy doing it, I have a lot of fun doing it, and because you guys are out there watching it.
Whether I enjoy talking to you guys and seeing, you know, getting your input and stuff.
Yes. And I don't care if I have 5 views or 55 views or 110 views. It's just awesome that I have a platform to talk to you guys directly, and you can share, you know, get a dialogue going, a little community. So it's great. Mm-hmm. As always, if you want to, first of all, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Got to hit that right there. Also, if you want to contact me, do it on Twitter at Kombat AllStar. If you want to hit up Random Girl at Quantum VFX on Twitter as always. And until next time,
see you guys later.